Mountain News at 6.
We continue our severe weather alert day with the possibility of strong storms later tonight in parts of our region. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has more on the timing. Evan.
That's right, Steve. We're watching those storms push into far western Kentucky right now. As we head through much of the evening hours, I think we're going to be in okay shape around the mountains. However, as we head past dark and into the later evening and early overnight hours, that's when we're going to have to keep an eye out for strong to severe thunderstorms. Outside at the moment, high knob camera at UVA-wise, watching a little bit of sunshine return to the picture right around 70 at this hour. Out front here at WYMT, the clouds are here. We've had a couple of showers, but that sun is trying to peek out yet again, which is not what we want to see. We've gotten down into the 60s for portions of the area that saw showers earlier, but we have really rebounded into the low 80s in some spots. Williamsburg clocking in right now at 81 degrees, 80 in Monticello, 79 in Middlesboro and in Jonesville. So very mild air, and that's bringing up more energy for these storms to use later on tonight. Around the mountains, all is quiet, but let's zoom in to far western Kentucky. That is where a couple of tornado warnings remain in effect right now as that line continues to march to the east into portions of far west Kentucky, and it'll eventually be into south central Kentucky here before too long. Right along that leading edge of that particular boundary is where we're watching the potential for those tornadoes. That's where the greatest risk area is, the level 4 risk across west Kentucky. It's a level 1 bordering on a level 2 risk around the mountains, and we'll talk about that as we head through the nighttime hours. Definitely, if you don't have it already, download that WYMT weather app. As we head through the overnight hours, we will continue to see the potential for those storms developing. As we head into the overnight, we'll drop into those middle 60s and eventually the low 60s around the mountains. Now, I will have the very latest on the main threats and a more detailed timing breakdown coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. A little more than 2 years ago, our country looked much different. Lockdowns, masks, and COVID-19 was about all anyone talked about. WYMT's Dakota Makris met with a local health leader and asked him how well we are doing now in our fight against COVID 2 years later.
2 years ago, a team from the CDC visited the Kentucky River District Health Department to give health department staff tips on how to handle the pandemic.
They really trained us on disease investigation, contact tracing, different things that we need to do.
The team taught health department staff how to test for COVID.
We do a lot of testing in our counties where it's not readily available from our FQHC partners and our rural health clinic partners.
Health department staff worked hard on their relationships with nursing homes. Public Health Director Scott Lockard says no matter how hard nursing homes tried to keep the virus out, it always found its way in.
COVID hit these long-term care facilities. They were most likely to have the negative impact because of the fragility.
More than 33,000 cases of COVID have been reported in the Kentucky River District. 1 out of every 3 people tested positive.
Reflecting back over the past 24 months, there were some things we did extremely well. There was lessons learned. There were some things we didn't do well, and we've learned from that.
The state has transitioned to a community level map, meaning a community has a low, medium, or high level of concern. Every county is in the green with 1 in the yellow.
It tells you the recommended suggestions or the recommendations that you should implement depending upon what level your community is in.
And hoping no one goes back into the red. In Hazard, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
As of Monday, Knott County had the highest incidence rate at 10.6%. An Amplify Education study found despite academic recovery in classrooms since the pandemic started, the youngest students are at risk in reading and math. Officials with Letcher County Public Schools say they see students missing reading benchmarks. In and out of the classroom, strategies incorporating technology are used to get students up to speed. But the teachers say the pandemic brought on more than just academic issues.
Sometimes, reading, meeting the standard isn't always what's important. We have to worry about these kids' mental well-being before they can be proficient or distinguished in the classroom.
Educators say getting students caught up in person is critical, and all steps are being taken to achieve proficiency. We'll have more on those steps and what they are coming up tonight at 11. And trying to find a solution to our children's reading problem, a Southern Kentucky school district found a new way to promote reading. Whitley County Schools opened up their very own book vending machines. The machines, you guessed it, are filled with books, and only certain tokens allow students to access them.
What we've done is we have 8 vending machines in the schools, and so far we've given out about 4,000 books.
Both parents and children are elated with the success of the new program. The students say their favorite day is Friday because that's when they know they are able to get a new book. A golden alert is out in Wayne County, Kentucky as the search for a missing man continues. 38-year-old James Ray Allen Jr. was last seen in Monticello at Dishman's personal care home. Police say he was last seen wearing blue jeans, a blue suit jacket, and gray and white tennis shoes. They tell us Allen has disabilities. If you see him or know where he might be, you're asked to call police. Well, police are investigating a catalytic converter theft in Madison County. God's Outreach says they were set to pick up 9 pallets of food donations this morning, but that's when they found out someone stole the converter from their new truck. Now they are not sure how they are going to get the donations. That is 10,000 pounds of food that did not arrive today. It means the families that come to pick up groceries may have missed out. The director of God's Outreach says they're looking at purchasing cameras for their property. They are also working to buy a new catalytic converter as soon as possible. Richmond police are investigating the incident. Thousands more jobs are coming to Kentucky. Governor Beshear announced this morning Envision AESC is investing $2 billion to bring an electric battery plant to the western part of the state. It will create 2,000 jobs. The state-of-the-art factory will be in Bowling Green. The governor says this project cements Kentucky's leading role in the automotive industry of the future.
It's thousands of construction jobs. This is a state-of-the-art, enormous facility that is going to bring folks in skilled trades from all over Kentucky.
Project leaders say the plant will operate on 100% renewable energy. They say the development plans are underway and they plan to break ground this summer. Kentucky lawmakers are down to the final hours to consider bills for this year's session. Today, several bills vetoed by the governor became law when the Republican majority in both chambers overrode them. Many of the bills today dealt with education and school athlete-related issues. WYMT's Phil Pendleton is live in Frankfort with a look at what was done today. Phil, good evening.
That is right, Steve. Good evening. Both House and Senate quickly taking action this morning to override those gubernatorial vetoes focusing on education, charter schools, and gender-related issues when it comes to sports. In fact, a University of Kentucky swimmer who competed for a national title testified she didn't testify, but she came here to speak to reporters about why she was in support of this Senate bill.
I know I speak for a majority of female athletes across every NCAA sport when I say biological males should not be competing against women.
Riley Gaines competed for a national championship in swimming and says she lost a 5th-place trophy to a transgender female swimmer. The UK swimmer says legislation like Senate Bill 83 is needed to protect women in sports, but others say that it's not as simple as the male or female argument.
What do the hormones say? Do the hormones say are they male or are they female? Okay. And based upon those hormonal levels, then they can participate in the sport that they so choose that's consistent with those hormonal levels.
The Senate voted 24-12 to override that veto. The Senate and House also overrode Senate Bill 1, which was combined with Senate Bill 138. It deals with the role superintendents have over school boards and school councils and what historical documents should be taught.
And that enables still the free discussion and expressions of ideas in the classroom. There's been so much misinformation that I've seen come about because of this bill.
A bill that could already have a chilling effect in our classrooms now threatens teachers with criminal offenses.
Senator Max Wise says there was a mistake made when those two bills were combined, and they are working to correct that. Now, the House also today overrode the veto of House Bill 9, which sets up a funding mechanism for charter schools. They're continuing to work behind me. They will likely work through the night and through tomorrow on overriding legislation, and they could also vote on some new legislation. There's still time to do that before they adjourn tomorrow. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Phil, thank you, and we'll keep everyone updated as the night goes on. The legislature will meet all day tomorrow and by law must adjourn by midnight tomorrow night. Also at the state capitol today, Kentucky senators honored Nancy Mitchell. Mitchell was married to Congressman Hal Rogers' longtime field representative Bob Mitchell. Nancy died on October 24th, 2021. She was born and raised in Corbin and served the area in many different roles throughout her lifetime. She was the first woman ever elected to the Corbin City Commission and also served 2 terms as vice mayor of Corbin. The Kentucky primary election is quickly approaching. The deadline to register to vote in the primary is April 18th. This year, new state law allows 3 days of early voting on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before the election. And if you can't make it to the polls on Election Day, you can request an absentee ballot. If you register online, it should take no more than 10 minutes. Just go to the Kentucky Voter Information Portal. The primary election is set for May 17th. One county is fighting back against litter bugs and illegal dumping. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from officials in Floyd County about the county's cleanup week and its Trash for Cash program.
Officials in Floyd County have noticed an alarming statistic.
We're seeing an increase in trash at our landfills, almost 30%, and we're seeing an increase in trash in our communities, and our ditches, and our hollers, and our streams of 30%.
And on Tuesday, officials met to officially begin the fight against littering and illegal dumping, partnering with local businesses and the Floyd County School District to proclaim April 11th through April 16th as Floyd County Spring Cleanup Week.
The reason we're doing that is, as I was explaining before, we're trying to do an overall initiative in Floyd County to try to create awareness. This is our one thing this year that we want to try to focus on, and that's trying to get the county cleaned up.
Officials also believe change begins with the youth.
We realize that if we're going to change our culture, we're going to change the way that people think about the importance of keeping our community clean, then we need to start with our children.
And has began the Trash for Cash program, inviting local school clubs, sports teams, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to help clean up their communities.
We thought about, okay, we can do Trash for Cash. If they will pick up, for every mile that they pick up on both sides of the road, we will pay them $50 a mile.
Turning litter into cash and teaching the importance of maintaining a clean county and community. In Floyd County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Allen said the Trash for Cash program is only available for 6th through 12th graders, but younger students are encouraged to participate in other ways and to call the Floyd County Courthouse at 606-886-9193 for more information. Easter egg hunting is a popular activity for younger kids, but one local superintendent decided to flip the script on this Easter tradition, creating a game catered to an older audience. Perry County School Superintendent Jonathan Jett decided to create an Easter egg hunt for faculty and staff within the school system. Jett and another school board member hid 16 eggs throughout the 8 schools in the district. If a faculty or staff member finds an egg, they're able to take a half day off work.
Well, it's been an extremely stressful 2 years for everybody, and to see people out having fun and enjoying it, it's not only fun, but it's good for their social and emotional health.
Jett says that he plans to implement activities like this for other holidays, and he adds that out of the 16 eggs, there are still 2 yet to be found.
Stormy weather is in the forecast late tonight. I've got the full breakdown on severe weather chances coming up next.
And we'll talk to health experts on the main causes of stress, as April is Stress Awareness Month.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories.